Today we're playing Jeskai Lotus Field, a deck we've played a ton on this channel with some new awesome tech. Oh, I can't remember who it was. So yesterday somebody submitted a deck tech for Keruga and Jeskai Lotus Field. It was probably like it was several cards different from this list, but it was a really good idea. Keruga has been showing up in more traditional Omnath control lists for a couple weeks now, mostly enabled by Leyline binding. But it turns out Modern's kind of full of cards that you can cast on turns 1 and 2 that cost 3 or more mana. Fire, Ice, Dead Gone, Fury, Solitude, kind of touch the Spirit Realms, that allow you to meet Keruga's deck building restriction. And Jeskai Lotus Field is a fantastic home for Keruga, in my opinion, where you're trying to resolve Blood Sun, and you have lots of incidental big permanents to draw cards with. And it's very important to remember when thinking and talking about companions, there are 2 types of companions. There are the Giganthas. Okay, it's really just Gigantha and Kahira are like dopey, maybe Zerta too, but cards that don't generate any card advantage. The companions that don't generate card advantage are much worse than like Lurrus and Yorion, which generate a ton of card advantage. And Keruga, Keruga can generate a lot of card advantage. The first time I cast this, I drew 4 cards. I think with my testing, I drew like 4, 3, 2, 2, 3 or something like that in my Keruga cast last night. I cast Keruga a lot because this is a big mana deck. This is a big mana deck. You're making tons and tons of mana with the, untapped Lotus Fields thanks to Blood Sun, and having access to a free card that doesn't get thought seized, that gives you a lot of card advantage, is a huge game. It's a really big deal. The card felt great in the shell last night. Just kind of so basically, like the last time I played this deck, I was playing Ephemerate over Touch the Spirit Realm, and then I was playing Wall of Omens over Fire Ice, and then I had like Karn's Bastion over Dead Gone. I think you should play Dead Gone instead to not be too gummed up on 3s and have some more cheap interaction. I had 3 Dead Gones last night and cutting down to 2. Touch the Spirit Realm is also a way to flicker Keruga. Draw more cards in the late game. Panda 29 months, Potato with the Twitch Prime. I'm very excited for this. The non-card advantage commands being Zerta, Kahira, Gigantha, Obosh, Omori, and then the card advantage ones being Kahira, Yorion, Lurrus. Maybe actually just these 3 are the only card advantage ones. But again, the companions that give you card advantage are nuts. Companions in big mana decks like this one are better because you get to ramp into that companion. And obviously, like, your card quality is diminished for Keruga, but Keruga adds, like, both consistency, giving you that card always, and power. And I do think at the time of making this comment, it's worth the trade-off. You also have to play Leyline of the Void over Rest in Peace, although Leyline is castable in this deck because of Lotus Field. Instead of playing Flusterstorm or Moonlight, Orvar is a good answer to creativity. We also have Wear Tear, which meets Keruga's companion requirement, and Force of Negation on the board. Could definitely see playing 4th Wear Tear. Yeah, this is like the only deck I really like Cryptic Commanded in Modern still, where when you go Teferi, untap Lotus Field land, hold up Cryptic, it's just like such a good, powerful sequence. I'm a pretty big fan of Cryptic in this deck. Aren't I short on Solitude pitch? I have 12 cards, which is like 1 less than like you would normally like. So I think I'm kind of okay, just kind of like cheating a little bit, especially because this deck hardcasts. You hardcast your incarnations a lot of the time. But yeah, you want like minimum 13. We have 12. Just kind of cheating a little bit. Okay, then one more thing before we start. Where's the Nexus of Fate? So I think when you have Keruga, you don't need Nexus of Fate as much. You're worse against Mill, but Nexus of Fate was largely to like shore up those like 4-color Omnath, blue-white control matchups, and then Keruga helps so much there. I think that's just the cut. I would probably keep this on the play. Could have kept 7. Okay, I like this hand more. Plains Aether Vial, huh? No, we lost against Dredge. We mulled to 1. Our 1 card was Leyline, and then they found Nature's Claim before I drew any lands. I get Cauldra. 5 cards in hand, no 1 drop to Violin. Could hardcast Fury next turn. Kind of hoping for no second Stoneforge Mystic, but what are you going to do? Okay, they have second Stoneforge Mystic, which is not very good for me, but I guess that's it actually. I mean, we get to go Fury this turn into potentially Teferi, untap 2 Lotus Fields, which is not so bad. We just took the germ. Well, they have Thalia, so we can't play Teferi next turn, but we can go Fury, kill Stoneforge Mystic, kill Thalia. Potentially could Solitude this here, but I think I would rather take 5 so that next turn I can try to go Teferi, untap 2 Lotus Fields, hardcast Solitude potentially, Deluge, pitch Solitude, something like that. Yeah, the rare Death and Taxes gamer, huh? Violin, so they're gonna Flicker Wisp. What are they gonna wisp? They're targeting their Stoneforge. I think that's okay. It's where my opponent's like likely to go like land, put in Sword of Fire Ice, equip, and if that's their whole, they revealed Lion Sash. Of course, Death and Taxes players play Sash. If that's their turn, then I get to just pitch Solitude, blank all their mana. And hopefully they put it on the germ token. That's what I would rather Solitude, but I guess if they put it on the Wisp, I can go like Teferi minus on the Cauldra or the germ, just the Cauldra. Oh no, I can't because I'm pitching. Okay. They wisp their wisp, good beats, you know, they just... This is how you have to win with Death and Taxes, just, you know, turn 1 Vial, and then curve out perfectly, right? Double Wisp, double Stoneforge, Thalia. Although this Cauldra is going to be a big old issue next turn, I guess. Not if I ice. Not if I ice. So I guess I'm going to go Deluge, looking for untapped land plus card. What would they Vial in response here? Interesting, interesting. Okay, so let's take... Touch the Spirit Realm. Flagstones. Oh, it enters tapped! Oh my gosh. Why would they not put that into play first? I guess they're scared of Verdict? I don't know, dude. Dad. Taxes players, I just... don't feel... I guess you can't feel too bad losing the taxes. Touch the germ. And my land ditch was tapped. I just, like... I don't know. What are you gonna do? Do I need Wear Tears? Probably okay to play a Wear Tear too. I mean, my deck is like all creature removal. I think I'm gonna be down to actually like go down to like 1 Cryptic and play like 2 Wear Tears. Just keep it in the full 4 Deluges. Does the deck function off? It's a lot worse than a Vial. I don't know. Listen, I'm not like trying to complain about the loss, but like a lot of times I've been talking a lot about Death and Taxes and Merfolk lately. How I just don't understand like the idea behind the deck exactly, or like how to build it, where it's just like you have no card selection and you have to feel it. It feels like you have to like win the die roll so often and you have to curve out so well to win, right? Like, I don't know. And maybe that's just not the case. Merfolk is probably like not as much the case because you have like the pitch cards to slow your opponent down. With Taxes, you just like it just feels like you have to win like all your die rolls and curve out so well, and like just draw like the right cards at the right time too. It always feels so tricky. Yeah, and then even then, like you also have to like play perfectly, which is fine, right? Like playing perfectly is not like really a downside to a deck, but. Would I play 1 Hullbreaker Horrors and Finisher and Sultai Teachings, or is it too fancy? I wouldn't play Teachings in any deck in Modern. I would play Memory Deluge over Teachings in a Sultai Wilderness Reclamation deck. I would also like never play Hullbreaker Horror in any Modern deck, I think, you know. Definitely not as like a tutor target for Mystical Teachings. I usually prefer Nexus of Fate because that card is just like, if it's in your deck, it's infinite turns. And doesn't just get solituded. Okay, dead that. Love to see no turn 1 Aether Vial. Yeah, I agree that with taxes, like, playing the deck experience matters a lot, for sure. For sure. It's just like, and again, it's like, I don't have the experience, so I don't really understand a lot of the, like, deck building ideas and stuff. So you get a Sword of Fire and Ice. So maybe they have Kaldra already in their hand. I'm just gonna Keruga here. I would, if they're just on Sword of Fire and Ice, I would rather just, like, wear the sword next turn. And if they have Kaldra, which they do, I can Solitude the Germ, keep the wear for the sword. Love to draw Blood Sun. Lotus Field wouldn't be so bad. That is not a very good draw. Pass back. Another red card would not be so bad. Or white mana would be fine too, because I could Fury, pitch Wear Tear, touch the Spirit Realm. I don't think I like that much. I think that like keeping the sword in play is pretty awkward here if I'm just gonna have like the Fury in play. And I think that like letting my opponent put in sword, spend 2 mana, equip sword, this is gonna blank a lot of their mana. Touch Thalia. I get hit by a Sword of Fire Ice if I touch Thalia, and then I don't get to kill the Stoneforge that's equipped with the sword if I touch Thalia. That's bad though. Although it's not so bad if I draw a red card. Yeah, if I draw a red card here, I Fury, they sack the Fortuner, but then I touch the... Then I touch the Fury and I kill, you know, their whole board. And then I've got 2 5-drops, so... You know, land will be pretty good for me. Take 3... land would also be, like, land this turn would also be really good, I guess, just, or untapped land, okay. So we Fury, kill the Forge Tender, presumably kill the Forge Tender. A land next turn would let me go, like, Teferi, untap 2 lands, touch the Fury, maybe. Oh no, that doesn't work, does it? My opponent chose the Fury when it was on the stack. I'm just gonna get better playtesting here. Just not target anything. Oh no, it does work. It does work. Look, this is here. It does work. I don't know if it's supposed to work that way, but it looks like it does work that way. Because, like, I mean, it's visually indicated at least. They have Path. Okay. I'm out of basics, and they have Field Ghost Quarter, but they don't necessarily know I'm out of basics. They're gonna find out, huh? Damn it. Oh, they're gonna keep their land to equip Kaldra? That almost can't be correct, right? I'm pretty sure it doesn't work in the actual rules. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. One kind of cute line there might be like, fail to find on Path to Exile, and then they Field of Ruin me, and then they don't Ghost Quarter me because they maybe think I'm just tricking them, but that's probably in a little too deep, huh? Okay, so let's go touch the Spirit Realm on Thalia, I guess. It does work that way? Okay, cool. I didn't realize that's how it works, but that's cool. Good to know. Okay. I was gonna say, I guess we can't even cast Fury. We draw Solitude. Can cast Keruga as a good blocker here, I suppose. I can also Teferi this turn. Keruga's just got to be the line. Keruga blocker. They have no cards. Oh, if they draw land into land, then they get to equip. Okay, we don't get to increase our Keruga card draw count this turn, but we do have a big old Hippo blocking all these little humans. And core and kittens. I guess this is also a core. Tomi, 14 months, thank you. Teferi, tuck the Skyclave, get a 3/3. I feel like this line is better. Just like I can like plus Teferi next turn, and then they can't even kill a Teferi. Or I could draw Fury, and then my Teferi's gonna be even better next turn. They're going to presumably Forge to do this again though. Try stacking it. I don't want to get my opponent with like Magic Online interface here. It's obviously like what they're intending. I'm just trying to get like the best playtesting possible. Especially just in a league, you know. So they've already sort of Fire and Iced and Cauldred. They might have like another... Okay, just there's Lion Sash again. Sash, not the scariest. So we're going to have 4 mana after we untap. In these spots, you want to leave the Valakut Awakening unsacrificed. So that if you draw Cryptic Command, you can bounce your own Awakening and then cast it again. So this can become... Maybe I shouldn't talk so much shit about Lion Sash, but I'm excited to see my son grow up. Doesn't exile card in the turn. Doesn't grow the Sash. What are they targeting? Oh, the Cauldra? Okay. That's good. It's really good, but presumably we get to untap with everything. A lot of good draws, and you have a lot of mana. I guess I only have 1 Cryptic in the deck, actually, for the whole Valakut thing. It's still probably right to leave it in play. Tuck the Germ. Tucking is interesting. Probably better to tuck the Cauldron itself. I guess they get to draw it in a couple turns, then put it into play with Stoneforge. But this also opens up more Wisp and just the equip. It's probably just better to make them draw the lands. We can Solitude the Wisp. Feels like a plus. I think plussing would be fine. I'm going to hold this for Valakut Awakening, by the way. Yeah, but they're 2 lands away from the equip, so... I think that this is going to be fine. The board looks really weird. That's because it is weird. Modern's been like all over the place lately, I feel. In like a fun, good way. You can kind of just play against everything. They have Ephemerate in their deck? Plains Return. 1 mana away from equipping Cauldron. We should be safe this turn. Yeah, that Ephemerate was really nice value. Reconfigure Lion Sash onto Thalia. Awesome. Just double block there, right? Double block Fury Keruga. And then it becomes a 6/5. And then I trade. I think this is right. I could be wrong. And if they had just like activated the Sash, or they had that extra mana, they'd be much better shape. With like 70% of my matches Ascendancy. Yeah, Ascendancy. There's one player. I can't remember their name. Castle. Well, so like activating Castle or activating Sash twice is the same. Is exactly the same. Shouldn't change the math at all. They either put 2 counters on it or prevent 2 damage. This deck feels Pioneer power level. You're twisting a dagger in my freaking heart, dude. It is also like definitely more powerful than the Pioneer deck, but I don't know. It's just always like you run into like lots of like linear decks drawing really well against you, and I know I sound like a salty player, but the chat also turns on you so quickly. Chat always turns on you so quickly when when you run bad like this. I was, you know, feels bad. Spike, this deck feels a pioneer power level. If only we still had Keruga to draw 4 cards. I was great here. I think Keruga's pretty powerful. You know, you just have to remember that the companions that give you card advantage are like much better than the ones that don't. Yeah. I'm not saying that I broke it. I'm not saying that I broke it. I'm not saying that this deck is great or even good, but I don't know. It just happens every single time I play a deck that, and like it's like if the first few matches go well and the rest of the matches go good, it's fine. If I win a lot at the beginning and the rest of the matches are fine, but even if I lose at the beginning and then win a lot, chat still like has like a pretty negative perception of the deck usually. Okay, so 6 counters on this would have this have 10 toughness, which would make me not able to double block. So I guess we just chump. I guess I chump with this because I'd rather probably flicker the Solitude, and this also makes them sink a lot of mana here. Oh, wow, we get to trade. That's good for me. That's a good draw, too. Gonna save that to ice. Yeah, Sash, good card, actually. In his pursuit to break the format, he broke himself. Sad. It's the deck, not the cards that are powered up level. Calling this deck Pioneer Power level is just not true, but it's just gonna zip it and move on. I don't know. It's also like, it's also like extra frustrating to me when I like play test off stream. I feel like I get to improve the deck after play testing. I like 4-1, could have 5-0'd if I had played better. I'm feeling like I wake up feeling really good. I think we are run particularly bad this morning. And you know the chat's just like Pioneer deck. You know, it's just, I don't know, it's always frustrating. And then again, that's not me saying this deck is, you know, there's also like I definitely like ran better last night than today, and it's always like somewhere in between how I ran last night and how I ran today, right? But just, I don't know, just venting, I guess, just talking out loud. Yeah, here we're flooding out very badly. You know, we're still like, I think we're still ahead though, but you know, we had the mulligan to 1 to find a Leyline of the Void and lost anyways. Castle only helps legendary. Oh, they didn't want to exile my Bloodsun. Oh, the Bloodsun also stops Castle. Okay, there's a spell. I don't think that they have any more tutor targets for Stoneforge Mystic. Now, my kingdom for a Valakut Awakening, Memory Deluge, Solitude. It's okay, we're doing fine. Keruga. Sadly, Keruga's gone. Alright. Most powerful Aether Vial. I think I might just chump this turn, though. Unless they attack with both, then we get to like block here, then bounce. Yeah, I think I don't mind just chumping this turn. It's a good pickup. It's a good pickup. Wow, I drew 2 spells on a turn? Broken. Why do I tuck the Sash? I have so many insane draws here that I'm very happy to keep ticking up. And if I tuck the Sash, I lose the Teferi, or almost lose the Teferi. But I have so many insane draws here. I'm not really that interested in tucking the Sash. Like here, I think I'm going to bounce the Stoneforge Mystic, then Solitude the Sash, then block the Skyclave. But like Solitude, Memory Deluge, Valakut Awakening, Cryptic Command, all feel like cards just like immediately in the game on the spot if I draw them. So I'm pretty interested in just trying to draw one of those. Wow, ignoring. Oh, sorry. This is going at me. I mean, it's a lethal attacker. Okay, so let's go. Gone. Solitude the Sash. I think I blocked the Skyclave. I want to try to ultimate this Teferi. Okay, that's fine. Reset the Sash. Thank you, Escanta, for clarifying. I'm not too worried about it. Thank you for clarifying. Falling Sea, 3 months, like, thank you. Doobie, Twitch Prime. So let's see if they have a 4th equipment. I think they only have 3. I feel like if I was playing Ephemerate and Stoneforge, I would be wanting the 4th equipment, but whatever. Die, Lion Sash, die. I do kind of open myself up to Cauldron equip. If they equip Cauldron here, they're not even killing my Teferi. You have a second Ephemerate? They do have a mystery card in their hand. Second Vial? Yeah. Average Aether Vial power level. Oh, baby. Maybe I should have done this last draw, but... Right, now they at least don't have anything to equip the Cauldron onto. Maybe I'm supposed to go a bit deeper with the, like, cast the Blood Sun before casting the Awakening, because I just have so much mana, but I guess I can't hardcast the Fury if I do that. They have no cards in their hand. We're super ahead. Are filter lands bad with Blood Sun? Drowsy, I think, for 2 months. You can play them with Blood Sun. They don't. There's no tension inherently, no. Yeah, yes. Unfortunately, we can't play the only win condition in Modern, Celestial Colonnade, because we have Blood Sun. But somehow, some way, we can try to clamor together a win. I think I like my sideboarding. I'm going to go to game 3. Is this for clicks or for content? Is what for clicks or content? The deck? I don't know. I don't know what you're asking, but I'm having a good time. I'm playing a deck that we put together after a cool deck text chat from yesterday. I'm excited to play this deck in Modern. Maybe it's just easier to just be explicitly for content. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess that isn't. Yeah, isn't that also the same thing? Yeah, chat's hostile today. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, lose the first 3 matches. Chat will turn on you faster than something that turns fast. Oh, okay. So they definitely have Ephemerate. They're like 100% to have Ephemerate here if they're going to Legend rule. So let's just like play around it. Gonna ice the Germ token. No universe where this opponent doesn't have Ephemerate in the spot. Okay, let's play the Blood Sun. Obviously, important card to get down. Just take 6. Only one white source is kind of a problem, but fine for now. So they're thinking about ephemerating their Stoneforge Mystic. They decide not to. If they draw a land, they could put Sword of Fire Ice on the Germ, but that'd be fine. We just Solitude the Germ and then untap Hardcast Fury, kill Stoneforge. So they're going to go end of turn, put in the Sword. So probably a good spot to go like Teferi, untap, ice the Cauldron in response to Sword equip, and then if they re-equip Sword onto Stoneforge Mystic, we have Solitude potentially. Not that that would necessarily be like an ideal use of Solitude, I guess. Was there a deck tech? Okay, deck tech. Hold on. This has been a very long match. I see 3 Fiend Artisans. Any consideration once you bounce lands? You could play some bounce lands. So bounce lands are obviously good with Blood Sun, but they are bad. They're very bad with Lotus Field. Like if you have to go like turn 2 bounce land and you have a Lotus Field in your hand, it's pretty bad. But you could play one. I think it's better to not. Okay, no Amori. We're just actually playing Fiend Artisan. Okay, so let's go Fire here, and then my opponent, I think they can ephemerate the Stoneforge Mystic. That would be fine. Or they could just move the Sword over to Cauldron. I'm just kind of hoping they do that, so I get to Solitude it. Likely to Solitude it either way, I guess. Okay, I will get to this deck tech, but there's a lot going on. I like Tear better. Tear would be fine, I think. I'm of the opinion Fiend Artisan is really bad. It's not a card I'd be very interested in playing. I don't really understand why we're playing Necrotic Ooze or Sarah Paragon. Both these cards seem very weak. And I understand, like, if you untap with this Necrotic Ooze, you can win sometimes, but I would much rather try to untap with Devoted Druid, which is, you know, 2 mana instead of 4 mana, and not a double black spell, and a mostly green-white mana base. It's also true that, like, when you have an archetype like Devoted Druid, and you just build it, you're building this deck essentially the same way as this deck has existed for a long time. Eldarmor's Call, Court of Calling, Devoted Druid, Stoneforge Mystic, and you have some very small updates like Extraction Specialist, which is a good card in the deck, but like you're just like in on like Fiend Artisan, Necrotic Ooze, Sarah Paragon, which by my perception, you know, like lowers the overall power level of the deck. And so you have like the old version of Devoted Druid, which has been like pretty unplayable, you know, to put it lightly, in Modern for like recent memory. And so you've done this, and then you've lowered the power level of the older versions by playing Necrotic Ooze, Fiend Artisan. This is like not a good direction to go. I wouldn't play Necrotic Ooze, Sarah Paragon, Ooze, Fiend Artisan are not any cards I would play in this deck. I would be interested in playing more Extraction Specialists in this version. I'd be interested in maybe splashing for Teferi. Grist is fine. You can play more Grists. I think of all the Devoted Druid decks I've seen in recent memory, I really do like prefer the Naya Rocco list. This deck, what I love about this deck is you play your Devoted Druid on turn 2. If it dies, then all of a sudden your Finales and Roccos just turn into Asmo. And in game 1, you have the combo to face against opposing linear decks. And then post-board, you get to side it out and just turn into like a Naya Foodblade grindy deck. Which I definitely have viewed to be a better way to approach this archetype than this very traditional version, which has been underpowered in Modern for recent memory. I guess it's just a question, do I want a Keruga this turn or Keruga next turn? I guess I like the Keruga lets me like evoke Fury, then Otawara the Germ. And I get to add to the card counter also. Ooh, and I drew another Lotus Field. That's nuts. Okay, so we just go evoke Fury, pitch Fury, kill this, bounce the Germ, and then I can... Oh, or was I... Oh, sorry, I was supposed to touch the Spirit Realm, the Keruga, then bounce the Germ. I can touch this end of turn, I guess. So that was, what, 3 more cards for Keruga? Purifier, 9 months, thank you. They have Ephemerate. I think they tapped out that turn. I like the Orvar a lot. I think Orvar and Eldarmor's Call deck's really good. I would probably play 2, but I do like the Orvar. Mikkel, 8 months, thank you. Is the new goal of this channel to play all the remaining companions and have them banned all together? Well, I don't think we'll ever get a Mori banned. I could be wrong, but I feel like that one's going to be tricky. Wait, they have a Batterskull? How do they have a Batterskull? They didn't have that last game. Oh, I see, I see. Okay. Let's get 3 more cards on the Keruga counter. We've played Zerta. There's a Zerta Umbral Mantle combo. It's pretty fun. We've played it a few times. I think I'm gonna Deluge from the yard. Cool. So I need to add the Keruga counter 3 more cards, right? But it may concede before I have the chance to do that. Long match. Kola, thank you for Twitch Prime, appreciate you. With Cryptic Command up. Alright, mulligan this. If I knew Fury was really good, we could keep. This hand really needs to draw a land in the top 2 cards. And I think that because I'm on the mulligan to 6, I'll keep all the draw. If I was on a 7 card hand, I'd pretty easily mulligan. My opponent's on Gigantha, Rix's Shadow probably. 26 land deck, you know. Although 2 more of those lands are Lotus Fields. Love to see my opponent play another 1 toughness creature to... I guess I'd have to draw a land for the fire to really work here, huh? Shredder, well. Zerta makes infinite mana so quickly. Yeah, I think that Zerta... Maybe Zerta would be a little too good still, but... It would be interesting to see Zerta in Legacy post-Companion nerf. And like I think pre-nerf, I think Garuda may have been better than Zerta. It's at least close. It's at least close, but Garuda. I think the Garuda definitely flew under the radar a little bit. Interesting that they loot away the bauble, not like try to get Delirium, but it's fine. So even if we miss on our land next turn, we can go Lotus Field into Blood Sun, Lotus Field, but obviously we're hoping to draw an untapped land and resolve the Blood Sun, which is very likely against Shadow since we don't have enough cards in the yard for Drown, but obviously if we have to put 2 cards in the yard for Drown, we'll likely get got. Pretty interesting if they're going to take the Fire Ice or the Blood Sun. They probably should take the Blood Sun, but people value their Ragavans a lot, so maybe they take the Fire Ice. Companion is definitely a stronger mechanic than Storm. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, the thing about Storm is there's only, like, Like Grape Shot, Tendrils of Agony are really good. And then I guess like the Bounce Permanence one's good. Mind's Desire is really good. Flusterstorm. Okay, that's like 5. That's a lot, actually. There's a lot of good Storm cards. I guess I'm going to deal 2 damage to this to make Shadow not castable. It could be correct here to wait and like try to Fury plus Touch next turn, but I can also just hardcast Touch on the Shredder. Ignite Memories. I mean, that one's kind of mid, right? Squirrel Storm. I do like that card a lot. It's unfortunately I don't think really ever going to be playable. Wish that wasn't the case though. Bummer. Does Galvanic Relay have potential modern? I have like 3 Galvanic Relay drafts that I think are okay that I haven't played on stream. I keep meaning to like pivot back to them, but I've played like a lot of shells. It's kind of similar to them, or like one of them is Mono Red Prowess, and then like 2 of them are like Turbo Empty the Warrens, like Underworld Breach, like Mono Red Underworld Breach Storm lists that I just haven't brought to the stream yet. One day. So they have Death Shadow mana now. Yeah, let's just take 3. I don't want them to go like Shredder plus Shadow. Yeah, I have some Burgie and some drafts. I don't know, a little bit unrefined. Same with Gruul Prowess. Let's keep this. Or let the resolve, sorry. So might have another Drown. Is it possible to do Dredge Phoenix? I don't know how you would. Don't know how you would. Is the reason I didn't invoke Fury Channel Touch? I didn't have white mana. We even talked about it, but I didn't have white mana. Yeah, I still got the fast cryptic clicks. I'm dead to a Connive spell, unfortunately. Opponent's draw pretty good. Kind of a slow mulligan on the draw. Not likely to be able to kill them with Fury here. Maybe if they double Thought Seize. Trying to connive a card in the yard. So I guess our best draw is Touch the Spirit Realm so we could channel this potentially and like beat a Drown. Cycle. Brick. Okay, on the draw against Grixis Shadow. Probably not going to be sideboarding too heavily. I think I would be interested in the 3rd Dead Gone. Down in Cryptic Command. I'm not going to bring in Leyline. I'm not going to bring in Wear Tear. Not going to bring in Orvar. Although Orvar is kind of sick against Kroxa. Would be pretty fun to bring it in. I'm not going to. I think I'm not going to. I mean, they played 2 Kroxas. I'm not. Let's not bring it in. Let's be a little bit more disciplined. Yeah, if you could copy Kroxa, I mean, like just copying like land is fine. Like their Kroxa turns, you know, is like a 2-mana Rampant Growth for your opponent. If you're on Squealing Shadow, I think I just want to play Kroxa instead. That's kind of where I'm at the moment. How do you feel Murktide positioned to meta? It's fine. I mean, like, Murktide is, like, really never great in the metagame, where it's just, like... it's actually maybe even not fine, where, like, there's... I feel like there's still a lot of hammer. Blue-white control is super popular. Blue-white is, like, kind of a nightmare for Murktide. Murktide is fine, but it's, like... I feel like I could not remember the last time that I was like, yeah, Murktide is just, like, the sickest shit ever for the format. Do you doubt deck links in chat? No deck tech? Yeah, sure, I guess. Maybe not the best forum to get, you know, feedback from chatters, but it's, you know, we're pretty relaxed here as long as, you know. I don't know. There are no rules in this chat. Much to the dismay of my mods. Murktide is fundamentally a deck that's trying to go 52% versus most of the metagame when it's good. Yeah, I mean, it's like... I feel like I've never seen it be 52% against the metagame. Maybe like towards the beginning of MH2, but it's like, I think like basically ever since like Hammer Time and Omnath decks and Blue White Control have been like a big chunk of the metagame. Like Murktide has just like never been a deck with an amazing win percentage. Not that it's not a deck that you can play, and not a deck that you can win with if you play it really well. It is, you know, it is a deck that definitely rewards experience and tight play, but Bloodstone is really good if we get to stick it here. Turns off all their fetches, so like they're gonna have a really hard time shadowing. Does Replicate Repudiate have a home in Keruga decks? I don't know. I looked at every single legal split card yesterday. Replicate Repudiate was definitely one of the ones that like caught my eye, but it was also like, I think it's probably just a little too lost in the sauce, if I'm gonna be honest. Hopefully no Spell Pierce. So many Spell Pierces today. 60 months, I can thank you. Why do people keep talking? What is Rakdos Lotus Field? That's the second time I've seen someone in chat say the words Rakdos Lotus Field. What are people talking about? Also, like, okay, if you're talking about Rakdos Lotus Field and you have Rakdos' Return in your deck, I refuse to look at your list. GPM 11 months, appreciate you. I think Bankoko is a good deck. I've definitely been, you know, winning with it when I've been playing it. It's something I would recommend, I guess. Okay, let's just go Keruga, hold up Dad. I don't think I want to be pitching Fury to kill this channeler when I'm going to be hard casting. Yeah, Shragoman, dang it. But Rakdos Return is my favorite card. I knew it! I knew you had Rakdos Return in your deck. You can't fool me. You literally can't fool me. I knew that you had Rakdos Return in your Rakdos Lotus Field deck. Hopefully they play Shadow or Ragavan, I can dead it. I guess if they play Shadow, I'll just... Or actually, if they play Shadow or Ragavan, I'll just Fury. Okay, they take my Fury. 6 cards in their hand. I think I just Teferi Minus. Obviously not a super powerful turn, but... They are very likely to be trimming a lot of their removal post board. They probably have... They've set so many cards, they probably have something. Loots away Croaksa for value, though. Solitude would be kind of nice here. Fury ain't half bad either. I think we've just gone the Shadow end of turn. Play around counter magic. One less toughness, we get to kill both creatures, but I think it's 7, not 6. Okay, there's that Channeler. There's that Channeler. Presumably Shadow 2. Although if I can find a Solituding a Channeler, we'll get rid of the Shadow 2. Is gone the only mono red creature bounce. There's a goblin that does it. I think it's Hippo time. Could maybe be better to Memory Deluge. Just get like a lot more looks at a Solitude. And maybe if I find Lotus Field, I can Cryptic with like the ability to pay for Spell Pierce up. So this is going to be like a fine turn. I'm going to lose my Teferi though. Didn't find a white card. White card would have been kind of nice. But my white card count is pretty low. It just is what it is. Lewis, Twitch Prime, thank you. Yeah, imagine if Keruga was Kahira. There's a lack of counterspell hurt. I've never played counterspell in this deck specifically. This is a deck I've played a lot on stream, different versions, but you can't really support counterspell and like the Lotus Field mana base, but you have a lot of other options that I think are pretty good here. Why no attack there? If we attack, my opponent just blocks and then I don't get to kill the shadow. Boars, 2 months, thank you. They have to Solitude the shadow, then they just gain all that life right back. Okay, they're at 9 here. Now they're at 8, and they're just dead. Sick. No, but they take our Keruga. They take our Keruga. I would rather lose than have my Keruga get thought seized. Game 3. Just don't play Rewind. Rewind is not good enough. Although I do think Rewind is a little underrated in Pioneer. Maybe on the draw we Orvar. I'm down. I don't know. My gut is telling me to do it. It's just like pretty good against Kroxa. They probably have 2 Kroxas. It's a good way to catch up on the draw. Okay, we don't have Orvar in this hand, so maybe we should mulligan. I did test Nest in Pioneer. It felt like awful. Okay. Maybe they'll play Channeler. We can fire. Isn't the most Pioneer decks? I don't know. It's like people always say this. Pioneer decks feel awful. It's just like the power level of the format is low. Low compared to Modern. That doesn't make the decks awful. It just means that like you have to like adjust to a different power level. But I've played a lot of Pioneer and like this is it felt like an awful Pioneer deck, not an awful just deck in general. If Lotus combo is kind of done on Pyre, might be trying to rebuild this deck. That's actually a really good point, yeah. Because my big concern of playing this deck in Pioneer was always like Lotus Field just like hates, like loves it when you Blood Sun them, but the Lotus Field's kind of dead. Although maybe Lotus Field is like secretly busted for the RC. Probably not, right? But like, Lotus Field is very good against Rakdos. Rakdos is going to be super popular at the regional championship. Yeah, all my opponents have Spell Pierce today. Shield makes your Lotus matchup way better. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Do people play mono green? I don't know. I think people will definitely play mono green. And I do agree that matchup's really bad. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not like saying that you should just play Lotus, but I do think people like dismiss it when it has like a really good matchup against like the most popular deck. But as far as this deck goes, this is the last time I worked on this in Pioneer. Probably wouldn't play March. I did like the discontinuities. Maybe you could play Rewind in this shell. Cash Register, 9 months, thank you. Can maybe play Narset Days and Doing. Not dealing any damage to them because of Shadow again. No, we were talking about the combo deck. I was just, you know, also talking about we're talking about both. We're talking about both. Narset commit memory. Maybe. No, you can play Binding and Pioneer. People have kind of been figuring out the mana bases. There's like a Keruga Fires deck that plays it. That's I think is pretty good. But I don't know that you can play Binding in this deck with Lotus Field. You probably can't, right?
There's like 0% chance you play emergency powers, right? There's no way, I think. Thoughts on the 4-color Omnath Keruga list? I think the deck's fine. After playing with Keruga a bit myself in this list, I'm like higher on that version. What is this, Turok? Yeah. That's bad. Although if I was gonna keep 2 cards, it's probably these 2. Although I was gonna want to have drawn an untapped land. Well, I guess this is fine if I can go like land, deluge, fury, kill this. We can, you know, we're not 100% dead. Now we're 100% dead. Well, there's like another... aggro decks in general are good against mono green. I feel like there's another like somewhat common deck I'm forgetting though, but just in general aggro is good against mono green. Azurius is good for heavy Rakdos meta and Pioneer. I actually feel like Azurius is pretty bad against Rakdos, but I could be wrong. Okay, do I get greedy and try to fire 2 creatures? I think yes. A little greed never hurt anybody. Well, I was supposed to play the Flagstones, I think. Phoenix mono white. Yeah, mono white is good against it. I think Phoenix is good against green if you have Thing of the Ice, but the matchup's like not, you know, that lopsided. Greasefang. I think that mono green is favored against Greasefang, although play draw matters a lot. Like just so many matchups on Pioneer, honestly. But like just the fact that like Karn is so good against Greasefang, I think I would put mono green over Greasefang. Yeah, that's also my impression, Jesse. Jesse's saying it, it can't be wrong. As a blue-white player, I hate Rakdos. Yeah, that's kind of my impression too. Since mono green and Pioneer never size boards, do things ever get better for green post board? I guess not. Or like usually not, right? Let's see if this resolves. I think I'll put back Teferi's Solitude if it does. Oh, counterspell, sure. I guess if they play another creature, I might want to go like Solitude plus Touch the Spirit Realm this turn. They can also dash Ragavan, I could fire then. Although maybe here I'm a bit worried about Delirium happening. With a sorcery going to the yard. I don't know, I've been talking a lot, you know, again, everybody always has their own ideas for Pioneer. Everybody has their hot takes. I'm no different, but for me, one issue I really find with Pioneer is that just play draw disparity is so bad, I think. Unless you're playing Rakdos. That's like the best thing about like Rakdos and Izzet decks specifically is like those are the 2 decks where if you're on the play or on the draw, it's like, wait, why wouldn't they exiled Consider? Why would they jam Ragavan instead of like trying to Consider into a land or just holding the Ragavan? But like Rakdos is like the deck that like you don't mind losing the die roll as much, but like a Tarka Red, mono white weenies, mono green, Greasefang, Spirits, Heroic, all of these decks like are so much like their win percentage goes way down when they lose the die roll. It's pretty tough. Main phase bolt me. So they're gonna go land Murktide. Nope, just a good old-fashioned land lightning bolt. I'm going to take a hit here. I think if I draw a land, I'm pretty interested in like trying to hardcast the Solitudes. My light total is pretty high. It's maybe getting lower. Maybe I should have responded to this cast. So if they have counterspell, they only get 1 surveil. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that Pioneer needs 0 mana spells, but like honestly, like that 0 mana spells do really reduce play draw disparity. Doesn't mean you have to like them, but that is one argument for what they do to a format. Okay, I will cast my castable spell. Ooh, okay, so no fetches for you. Lotus Field, great top deck. It was already okay because of the flagstones. Yeah, I think that I agree. I think more efficient 1 and 2 mana spells would help that also. But it's also like, it's tough to do that without the format becoming warped around those spells, right? So I'm like explicitly not offering a proposed solution for Pioneer with this conversation because there's just like infinite hot takes about like what Pioneer should be, and I've kind of like lost I've kind of like lost an understanding of like what I feel like Pioneer should be, and I just don't really want to throw my hat in this conversation anymore, I guess. Yeah, I'm not trying to fix it. This is just like an issue that I see. I don't know if that makes sense. Cop-out answer? I mean, it's not a cop-out answer. I'm just streaming and thinking out loud and talking, right? You know what I mean? I'm just like expressing my thoughts. Not everything needs to be a top 5 list. Top 5 ways Wizards could fix Pioneer. Not everything needs to be a super detailed explanation. Okay, so we're going to go Teferi, Hardcast Solitude. Not everything needs to be, you know, just a finished thought. You can have incomplete thoughts and learn and grow from them, right? Pretty good turn. Been trying Terror of the Peak and Red-Black Pioneer as a way to go over the top of Mono Green with Fable copying it. Spicy tech. Seems slow. This is not like really like expanding on your comment, but I really want to own a copy of Terror of the Peaks for my EDH deck, and that card is like $40 or something like that. It's like very expensive. And I ended up buying like a Grid Monolith instead for my EDH budget, which is more expensive than Terror of the Peaks, but I'd rather have a Monolith than a Terror of the Peaks, you know? I've always wanted to own a Grid Monolith. I'm very happy to have one now. Okay, they should have attacked here. Top 5 cop-out answers to very easy question. How do you fix Pioneer? It's good, good Chain of Fireball article for me this week. Alright, we'll just play Blood Sun first and see. Yeah, Blood Sun and evaluate which 5-drop to jam. Probably Teferi minus, but I do get to draw 4 cards if I Keruga here. But let's Teferi minus, and then I guess I don't attack. I don't know if they're so likely to have a removal spell here. That's probably fine not to attack still. Alright. I don't know if you think Pioneer is super boring or play too much or not enough to have a good perspective. I don't know either. I guess I maybe should have said this. I like Pioneer. Like, I enjoy playing Pioneer when I play it. But I think it's, like, much better for me in small doses. And as, like, a competitive format, an issue with it I have is the play-draw disparity. But it is like also like very possible to like enjoy a format and like it and also like critique it a little bit, you know. And it's also okay to like hear my perspective and disagree with it, and you know, it's all just fine. All right, let's add 5 cards to the card draw with Keruga counter. So let's go, I think. Oh, I can't help myself. Literally can't help myself here. Alright, I think I'm okay if they block with the Shredder. Oh, no, wait. What am I doing? Oh, sorry. I get 1 less card, but this is fine. Yeah, if they block with the Shredder, I get 1 less card. But then I get 2 dead. The Shredder. Okay, 19 cards, pretty good number. Okay, so untap Lotus Field land. Red. Dead. Connive. Somewhat predictably didn't draw land. I guess I was probably supposed to dead the Channeler first in case they became delirious, but they were unable to. And then Awakening. I'll keep a Lotus Field. Okay, well, that's good enough. Okay, I think that Wear Tear to answer Blood Moon post board is important. I don't know if I went 2 or 3. One nice thing is you can like prioritize getting planes off Flagstones to be able to do that. I definitely liked Leyline of the Void against Murktide before Ledger Shredder. I like it a lot less now, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to play any copies. I think I don't want really any copies of Cryptic against Murktide. On the draw, I'm also like a lot less enamored with Fire Ice. So this is like maybe a little like weird and experimental. Well, how about this? How about let's just try Leyline on the draw and then Fire Ice on the play. I kind of like the thought. I don't know if this is good. I kind of like the idea. Is Force on the draw? It's okay. You can play Force over Leyline. Leyline's definitely not bad. You know, it's you have no Murktides, your Channelers are 1/1s, your Heat never has Delirium. It's fine. And it's like obviously like always way better in hands like this that just like 7-card 1 Leyline, you know. This deck is so weak to Blood Moon. Yeah, it's not very good against Blood Moon. But you know, you do have the line of aggressively get planes with Flagstones and Wear Tear the Blood Moon, but it used to the versions of that I've played in the past that play Prismatic Ending are a lot better against it. That being said, does look like we're getting mooned here. You also have a Valakut Awakening as like a card that like digs you like through your deck. Not that we have any in our hand right now, but that would be like a very insane draw. We also have Keruga. Yeah, Leyline replaces itself when you Keruga, so it's actually just great. Maybe a little late, now that my opponent has blue mana available. But maybe my opponent taps a blue. I think it's too much. Wait, my opponent is main phasing Subtlety. Like literally, what are they doing this match? That main phase bolt was also so weird. I don't understand. Alright, goodbye Keruga. We'll see you again. Another Awakening. Just digging for that Plains Wear Tear. Well, this turn I'm going to hardcast the Fury, I guess. Maybe they have another Subtlety. 50 Fire Beatdown. I just don't know why they would ever main phase it here. Do you have another one? Maybe? Nope. Worst Subtlety I've ever seen, and I've seen some bad Subtleties. Baiting with Solitude. I think I'm just okay to like put the Fury back on top, you know. Also, like when your opponent's punt, right? Like my opponent, I think, is like somewhat clearly punting with that line. When your opponent's punt, just like let them punt. I don't know. Like there's like no universe where main phasing that Subtlety is like correct or a bait or anything, or even if it is a bait, we'll just like take the 2-for-1. Put the Fury on top. What do you think about throwing Keruga away with Awakening to draw a card with it? Oh, do I count it for the card drawn with Keruga? No, I don't think so. This deck is bad against Blood Moon. I mean, it is. I don't know. Okay, let's keep this. I think I'll put back. Oh, I think I'll play the Awakening tapped on turn 1. Could be fine to hold it also. Maybe I will actually hold it. We have plenty of lands, and I kind of want to be able to go Canal on turn 1, Ice on turn 2, and have the Flagstones in play. So if I draw Lotus Field, I can sack the Flagstones and then turn 4 Teferi. Why can't I type this all day, every day? To be fair, Leyline put in work. Yeah. No, I was not actually claiming from that game that we are somehow good against Blood Moon. Ooh, we did draw the Lotus Field, so I think this turn I might just like to fire this Ornithopter, turn off the Springleaf Drum, and fire it when they can't save their Ornithopter with a hammer. How's the companion been? We've drawn 19 cards with Keruga. Up to you to determine if that is enough cards. I know by playing this Lotus Field I lose the ability to touch the Spirit Realm plus Solitude, but I think it's maybe fine to pitch touch the Spirit Realm to Solitude and then untap and play Teferi next turn also. Yeah, Keruga has been 19 cards good. What cards do you give up for Keruga? Ephemerate, sideboard cards, Wall of Omens. Or Prismatic Ending if you want to play Prismatic Ending. Not really, you know, Ephemerate's obviously very good, but do you feel like the trade-off is also fine? Counterspell, you don't play Counterspell in this deck. That's the different, you know, just different deck completely. This is a deck we've played a lot of on the stream. This is not like a completely fresh new brew. And for that, I gravely apologize. So I kind of like Solitude, Touch the Spirit Realm, Keruga in hands. Or maybe it's just better to Awakening after getting rid of both Sentinels. That's probably better. That's probably better. Or I guess I'm only getting rid of one Sentinel probably. Hold on. Because I'm going to target this. And then they're going to make a construct. And then I touch the Spirit Realm. I touch the Spirit Realm, and then I can get rid of either the Construct or the Sentinel. I think it's the Sentinel. Let's be Awakening. And I'm like, I think I'm likely going to chump block the Construct or take the hit anyways. Probably have to chomp. Maybe if they make a token, I don't chomp. I guess they still have the second hammer. This is like, this lets me Awakening, see 2 new cards for removal spell for the constructs. I guess it. Okay, let's let them like get hammer. They might also overthink it. I've open mana, but I do. Maybe if I draw another Touch the Spirit Realm, I'm going to just take the hit. So let's cast this. I can't be spell pierced anymore today. Oh, come on. I've been so spell pierced today. It's been unreal. Unbelievably spell pierced. Okay, let's take 14, I think. I mean, their hand of spell pierce hammer, good beats, but want to be able to draw touch, I think. I mean, I could draw touch and, you know, just exile something, I guess. Ugh. So block here, go to 7. I can play Otawara, put Keruga in my hand. I can shock another 3, gain 6. Yeah, I guess I can shock and put Keruga in my hand and still live. And then next turn, if I draw a land, I'm 1 short of Keruga plus bounce with Otawara. Can I bounce the token? I don't have enough mana. Not this turn. Only a paper legal play. And then not sacking the clearing first kind of makes me think I'm dead, but we'll see. Yeah. Game 2. I do think Hammer Time is like a good matchup. We've been kind of getting hammered today though. We're Blood Sun, Solitude, Fury, Ephemerate, Fire Ice, Wear Tear deck. It just can't really be that bad, surely. Oh, it's that bad. And don't call me Shirley. Okay, this is up in sideboarding. Let's stick to it. The companion is legendary discounts the bounce. I know, but we're still 1 short if we draw land next turn, I think. But Not that we can companion this turn anyways. Flam, 14 months, thank you. Yeah, Dino Hippo, baby. Any decks you think Phoenix Chicken slot into? Yeah, I've had this draft for a little bit. I don't think it's great. I don't think I've played any matches with it either. But just, oh, well, no. Don't look at that one. Just, I think Phoenix Chick does fit into the Hollow Shredder deck. I ended up like thinking, so I haven't play tested this, but I ended up like cutting, or maybe I play like one match or something. But I ended up like cutting Asmo from this deck, which is maybe not correct. But I do kind of feel like Asmo sucks in this deck. So I'm playing Phoenix Chick and then Goblin Lore again. You could obviously still play Asmo. I'm not 100% sure yet. I think that they have some range of draws that goes turn 1 Saga, so I'll play the Flagstones on turn 1. Do I play MTG at all? I haven't in a few years, a couple of years. Never ruling it out, I guess. You know, maybe I'll try this some more. I think I played exactly one game with this deck and then got busy or something. Ooh, that's one of the very few range of draws that like this would have been better against. They don't usually play something that's good to dead on turn 1. But let's dead it on turn 2, I guess. I'm surprised I hesitated to keep that hand. I didn't hesitate to keep this hand. I was just thinking about sequencing. Pretty bad against this Hushbringer though. Alright, let's not get spell pierced. So now I can't fire the Hushbringer. I can touch the Spirit Realm though. Why is Asmo seeing so little plays these days? There's not that many decks that like Asmo's that good in. I do think that the like blue-black X food deck, the Time Civ deck, is probably pretty well positioned right now with Tron being very unpopular, Karn the Great Creator being unpopular. That's always like what I was most scared of when I was playing that deck a lot. That being said, I need to play that deck some more off stream and maybe like try to figure out some new tech for it if there is any. Probably gonna have to Solitude the Sentinel. Could Keruga in my hand this turn. Just too bad if they have like good hand and like can put a hammer on something. Free Fury without ETB not worth. Not in this matchup. I don't think that the double striker is really worth that much. Okay, maybe I'll just end up fusing Wear Terror. I mean, if the last card is Hammer, I mean, I don't know. It is kind of hard for them to go for it into all of this open mana, I guess. So I think I'm just going to take 2, and then end of turn, fuse Wear Terror on Sigarda's Sentinel, and let them draw a card. Yeah, you can play Temporary Lockdown. The thing is, it's very easy to say that when you're playing against Hammer Time, but I think you already have like a ton of cards that are good against Hammer Time, so kind of feels like not that necessary, but I could be underrating it also. Garruk Wildspeaker. I mean, I would basically never play less than 4 Teferis, and like specifically Teferi. I don't know. Teferi seems so much better to me than Garruk Wildspeaker. Okay, I think I'm gonna fire the Ornithopter here so that if they have Paladin, I guess they actually still have Metalcraft if they have Paladin Hammer. Yeah, that wasn't right. Seems fine. I kind of want to use my mana anyways, though. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, the green splash for Garruk cost you a lot. Oh, but you're trying to play Binding. Okay. Okay, if you're playing Binding, you cannot play Botanical Sanctum, you cannot play Otawara, you cannot play Spirebluff Canal. If you're gonna play Binding in this deck, you can't just like. I don't think you can do this and just YOLO it and just be like you really have to play all type plans, which is maybe doable. I haven't tested it. It's in my like theory thinking about it or whatever. It seems to be like very difficult to do and like unlikely to get the job done. Just Hardcast Fury here. So you're playing a Pioneer Mana. So you just can't play fetches, so yeah, double green just seems ridiculous, especially when you're cutting 2 Teferis. I don't like this at all. I don't like playing less than 4 Furies either. I do think that Binding is very interesting. I think that if you play completely all lands with, basic types, you could potentially get it in. Oh, you also can't. You're playing 25 lands. I think you can maybe still play. Oh, this is end of turn. Interesting. Oh no, so this is their turn. I do think you could maybe still play like 3 Valakut Awakenings. I would probably play 3. You can't play less than 26 lands though. So like you just have to get the Typhoons out of there, I guess. But if you feel like Leyline Binding is a castable card in this deck, I really do encourage you to work on it though, because if you can get it to work, I do feel like that would be incredibly big for the archetype. Isn't it rough that Keruga doesn't pitch the Solitude like Kahira? Well, what's nice about Keruga, it doesn't pitch the Solitude, but it draws you a ton of cards, and it's a 5/4. You know what I mean? I don't know. I like when we say that like that's a lot of the power of the companions that it pitches to Solitude. Like what you're really saying is like that's like the main thing Kahira does. What you're really saying is like that's the main thing that Kahira does is it pitches to Solitude. It doesn't really do that much else. I am so sick of being spell pierced today. I am out of my mind with these spell pierces today. Awakener with the Twitch Bridge Prime. Thank you. So they probably like bounce their Stoneforge here. I'm not sure. Bounce Kaldra put into play. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not dead. They go to 1. Then I can attack the Teferi, and I need to draw something. But like I've literally never had a stream where I've been spell pierced this much. It's been pretty ridiculous. Okay, I do think I have to take the hit. Attack here. I need to draw a removal spell. That's a removal spell. They have no cards in their hand. I'll just main phase, bounce the Germ, fire the Stoneforge to play around protection. Most food decks run at least 2 mana. I mean, yeah, Spell Pierce is a common card, but it's just like my opponents have had it today. You know what I mean? They have had it today. Like my opponent's only 2 cards there with Teferi, Spell Pierce, which is nuts, right? they've had them pierces, you know. Aren't I dead to Inkmoth? Inkmoth deals infect damage, not damage. Dead to that plus Shadow Spear equip. Oh, I'm dead to Unreal. The Ornithopter kills me here. Ornithopter equip Kaldra. What crazy draws. Golly. Damn it. What a matchup. They're also their hand being Teferi Spell Pierce is also just such a beat. Such a beat. Okay, I'm gonna draw a keepable hand. Okay, last seen playing Asmo Food. Seems like they're playing something like that. I think I'm gonna not dead this. They have a if I kill this, they can still tap their Springleaf Drum to Moonsnare. Wait. They're not playing this deck, are they? This deck that I've refused to play on stream despite popular demand. Kind of looks like it. I did like post it or like screenshot it. Okay, I wasn't playing Misty. Can I talk about replacing pieces with Other Legaze and Pioneer Phoenix? I think Other Legaze stinks. I'm like really dislike that card, so. So I'm not that big a fan. Do I trade Scales of Maria? I also think this card stinks. Like, I genuinely don't understand the hype for this card. It is just like, you know, it's Urza doesn't come with a construct attached to it. It's so obviously like it has this other ability that's kind of like, you know, slow and dopey, but I haven't tried it, but this is like a 3-mana 3/3. I am not a big fan. That being said, Other Legaze could be good. Like it could be better than I think. But I historically have really disliked the card. It is true that like Pioneer Phoenix draws so many cards. Like you could get away with something like that, but I'm not that into it. I've tried founding the third path plus strategic planning in Phoenix and thought it was okay. I don't think I ever played any of it on stream. I think that Pieces is I think strategic planning is like so much better than Pieces that I'm like not that into that idea, but like if Other Legaze is just like good, then maybe that's something you could do. Okay, my opponent I think is playing something close to this. So bring in the Wear Tears. I'm gonna cut the Fire Ice Dead Gons and put like 3 Force of Negations. I could just be totally wrong, but obviously hard to tell for sure. Use the restroom too.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. 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 What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
I don't know about this hand. We're on the draw. It's okay if it draws a land. Fury seemed pretty good last game. Let's try it. We're 26 land deck, or although I really only have 23 lands that are good to draw here. Obviously mulligan on the play. But again, Fury was just, you know, like 0 mana win the game. Yeah, Flagstones would be sweet. Deal. So they're trying to Howling Mine plus Moonsnare prototype. I just want to kill the Howling Mine. I get a card, you don't get a card. Yeah, they're playing Moonsnare. We saw Moonsnare last game. We've tried to play Howling Mine, Moonsnare, Urza in the past. There is something there for sure. It's a very difficult deck to build. All right. Most powerful, touch the spirit realm. 3 mana on the mid-might. You probably have like Rebuke or something. Deal. Oh, sorry. It was better to play Lotus Field this turn because next turn I can play untap Spirebluff Canal plus Teferi. Not the end of the world though. Also, a bit harder to hold the Cryptic next turn with the Lotus Field. What are they doing? We've seen Maria. Okay, Maria Howling Mine is also like, you know, something. There's the Maria. Alright, so we're going to take the obvious line of bounce Valakut Stoneforge to our hands. Into Fury. Although, why wouldn't my opponent have a Spell Pierce? But they don't think it's worth Spell Piercing. Oh, so there, I did cast a blue spell. Sorry, I did cast a blue spell. I've never seen Cryptic Command being better against Veil of Summer. I have literally never seen Cryptic be better against Veil of Summer. That is awesome. My opponent's like, really? Really? You're bouncing your own land with Veil of Summer? That's funny. Okay, there's obviously they could have another counter spell. I'm gonna jam the Teferi, try to play a 4-drop though. Oh, cool. Poor opponent. Oh man, Veil sucks. Okay, kicking and streaming. We 3-2 to League. I'm gonna play another one though. I'm gonna play another one. Let this one marinate a little bit more. Wait, what was that Planeswalker I opened? I think I've seen that card.